Time is a useful device in order to help us coordinate events. In order for time to function effectively, it must be measurable. To measure time, we break it into consistent units, such as hours, minutes, and seconds. We can then use quantities of these units to predict when events will occur, as we often do in daily life. Time is also used by musicians to provide a means of coordinating events or sounds so that they can create and play music in a coordinated and consistent way. It is this method of accurate sound placement that is a key feature in distinguishing music from mere random noise. Similarly to how the units of time divide it into consistent and therefore usable pieces, for example, hours, minutes, and seconds, musicians also use a similar system to do the same in sheet music: subdivisions. Subdivisions allow us to divide time into pieces which we can anchor sounds to. By dividing time in this way, we can predict when in time sounds are going to occur, which is essential if we are going to create and reproduce musical ideas with precision. The predictable nature of subdividing time also provides clarity to other musicians regarding when we're going to make sound, so they can then carefully coordinate the placement of their sounds around ours. Without subdividing time, we are left trying to mimic or guess when in time sounds will occur in a musical idea, which is far less accurate and makes them far more difficult to reproduce later on. Consider using a clock to schedule events in time. If we needed to attend a particular event but didn't break time into units and have a clock with which to reliably measure these, we would have to guess what time to travel to the event, making it nearly impossible to arrive on time. The time value table here shows subdivisions from whole subdivisions, or 1 part per common time bar, to 64th subdivisions, or 64 parts per common time bar, with the names of each subdivision in the left-hand column. Each subdivision gets its name from the number that occur in a common time bar, which is a length of time divided into 4 parts called beats. More on bars and beats later. Counting is used when dealing with subdivisions in order to help track progress through a given bar of music, as well as to provide names for subdivisions so that they can be identified and discussed with other musicians. Let's take a look at the counting for the following subdivisions. Half subdivisions. 1, 3. Quarter subdivisions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eighth subdivisions. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 16th subdivisions. 1e and a 2e and a 3e and a 4e and a. Because the counting for 32nd and 64th subdivisions occurs rapidly at even a moderate speed, it's impractical to count every single one. Instead, use 16th counting and acknowledge subdivisions at a ratio of 2 to 1 and 4 to 1 respectively. 32nd subdivisions. 1e and a 2e and a 3e and a 4e and a. 64th subdivisions.
1e and a 2e and a 3e and a 4e and a.
We can work out where we are in a given bar by observing the counting we're using. When we reach the count of 2, we're 1/4 of the way through the bar. When we reach the end of 3, we're 5/8 of the way through the bar. By using counting to track our progress, we know where we are in time, and therefore can ensure that we play the parts we're meant to at the right time. Now let's take a look at how subdivisions can be used to clearly define points in time at which sounds occur, in order to make creating music easier. Imagine we're in a band together, and we've decided that for our upcoming song we want to clap once at exactly the same time during one particular part. Without subdivisions and the counting we use to track them, we'll have to try to guess where in time this is going to happen. I'm going to start the piece by saying go, then the clap will happen sometime after this. Listen through once, then replay and see if you can clap at the exact same time the second time around. Ready? Go! Some of you who have an excellent sense of time may have managed to clap at the same time, but chances are most of you probably would have clapped either too early or too late. I know I probably would have. Now we'll try the same exercise again, but this time I'm going to subdivide time into quarters and count these as I go. As before, listen through once, then repeat and try to clap at the same time. Ready? Go! 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully you noticed that the clap occurred on the count of 3 and therefore clapped at the same time. Since we applied subdivisions and counting to time as we went along, we were able to easily coordinate sound with one another in order to achieve the desired result. Why use the word subdivision to describe this concept? The term subdivide means to further divide. As soon as time is divided into pieces once, this can be thought of as a division of time. Then, as time is further divided into even smaller pieces, the term subdivision